All right, so this is going to be the last ever email marketing course that you'll ever need to watch, because I'm going to fill this with all the value that on all the stuff that I learned from working with Ty Lopez for over 7 months, generating him over $400,000 in sales as a copywriter, working with other clients across different industries, all across the globe. And there's lots of stuff that will go in here. This is not going to be some flashy edited video, but it's going to be packed with lots of value that is going to help you as a copywriter, right? If you're a copywriter right now, it's going to help you create the right type of emails and even manage the email marketing system for your clients so that you can offer that as a service on top of the copywriting itself. It's going to be covering lots of copywriting practices, but then most of the time it's going to be like 80-20 email marketing and 20 copywriting. But even if you're not a copywriter, this email marketing course will be really, really valuable for you if you're an info product business course creator, right? You're selling your own info products, your own courses. If you're an online coach, or if you're even a service-based business or some other form business, even if you're an e-commerce business, it will help you understand email marketing better. And so that is my goal with this course. 100% free. I'm just gonna unload all the value that I can give you, right? All the knowledge, all the expertise that I have in terms of email marketing. And then you can take it, implement it into your business, help your clients with that, and just really, really excel with email marketing and get the most revenue out of your email marketing system. So first we'll go over what is email marketing. We're going to answer the question. Maybe you're still a little bit confused, maybe there's some confusion there. We'll definitely eliminate that today. I'm going to tell you what email marketing is exactly and how it works. Step number 2 is different types of emails that you can send within your email marketing system. Very, very important. This is probably, these two are probably the two most important things within this course here right now, especially for you as a copywriter. So pay attention for this. And then the big 3 email sequences. I'm going to give you basically the main 3 basic email sequences that you need in any type of product or offer that you have. Definitely make sure to implement these, because if you have those, is already most of your email marketing system is already good to go. At least most of the automated stuff, most of the sequences. Then it's only about segmenting lists and stuff like that. And then last but not least, we're actually going to hop into my laptop, into my computer, and I'm going to show you how an email marketing system is being managed inside the CRM, and how automations and email sequences are being built inside the CRM, how it looks, and how you can do that too. And then I'm also going to go about some minor things within email marketing that are really important as well. And yeah, we'll wrap it up with that. All right, so first of all, what is email marketing? And to put it in really, really basic terms, I'll put it right here. Email marketing equals selling your offers through emails, right? So this means, whether you are selling an info product, right? Whether you're selling a course or like some coaching, whether you're selling a service even, right? If that's like an agency service that you sell to other business owners, or whether that is just simple products, right? Like a book, or like, some phone cases, or like a laptop, or any type of product that you sell, you can do that through emails as well. And how it works is, most of the time you have an email list, right? So I just wrote down how it kind of works is, you give people something valuable in exchange for their email. And so if you are an e-commerce business, you might give them a 10% discount code because they find that valuable, and then they can buy some of your products for cheaper, right? So they save some money, right, indirectly. If you are an info product business or like an online coach or something, you might give them some of your knowledge, because that is already kind of a tease of your product, right? It's like you give them a free training, or like a free course, a free mini course, or like a cheat sheet or something like that, because in your offer you offer them to help them, give them more knowledge on something so they can go from point A to point B. And by giving them something free, valuable, they're ready to give you their email address because they need that right now. And then through that, they learn a little bit more on their journey. You help them kind of through that, and then they get interested in more of your products, because it's kind of that it's kind of, this is the way it goes, right? It's like, that someone is interested in what you have to offer, but at first you want to give them something for free that is like similar to what they can get from you, to emphasize that they buy more from you, basically. And e-commerce brands do that with a discount code, is really, really effective, because then people want to use that discount code and they can buy something, right? And then they spend money on the brand, and the brand makes money. With the free training, in the free training, you want to pitch to a paid product because at first you get their email address for the free training, you give them some value, but then you want to make sure that through the thing that you gave them for free, you also make some money and they actually buy your product. And the same goes for software companies as well, right? They might give you like a 1 month free membership to test the product, and once you tested it, once you already had it for a month, then you're already getting used to it and you can't really quit. And then that's how they hook you up with like the monthly membership or maybe even a yearly membership, so that you pay for the product. And basically by doing this, it's called a lead magnet, right? You give people something valuable, that's like called a lead magnet, because it attracts all of the leads that you need. And like leads are people that are interested in your products, and so you can sell the products later down the line. Basically what you do is you build an email list like that by getting traffic to your lead magnet, right? You build out an email list so that the list of people who are interested in your products grow more and more, because later down the line you will send out email campaigns, which is basically like one email that is being sent out to all the emails within your database. So basically one email that is being sent out to your email list. And through that, if you have a new product or if you have something new that just launched, you can basically contact all of your leads and everyone that is already interested in your product, so that you can sell even more through your emails. And by building an email list and by giving people valuable things in exchange for their email, you also build out automated sequences with emails that also sell your product, but they're automated, right? You write them once, you set them up, and then they are in the sequence. And once people trigger, something, an action or something, right, they sign up to your email list through their lead magnet. That's where the sequence starts for that person, and then they walk through all of these emails day after day. And throughout the emails you can sell your products, which is great because then it does that automatically on the back end, and it's completely passive. And so if people buy through those emails, that's kind of like passive income. Right, so now that we know how email marketing works and the basic concept of it, now I'm going to give you the types of email that you can put into your sequences and that you can send out to your campaigns. Because there's a big difference whether you're putting an email into a sequence or you're sending it out to the whole list. But we will go over that in the next kind of module, or in the next chapter. This right here is to give you some input on what type of emails you can actually send out so that you sell your products. So first we have storytelling emails, and storytelling emails are basically emails that you tell a really, really nice or really like motivational or inspiring story of yourself, so that people who read through it, they build that emotional connection, and they kind of get used to you and they get to know you. That's why I love putting storytelling emails into a welcome sequence. So basically whenever someone signs up to your email list by giving you their email, and you giving them the lead magnet, so something valuable, in like the next 2 or 3 emails within the sequence, I like to put in a storytelling email, because that's where people get to know you better, and then they build that emotional connection to you. And later down the line, buying from someone who you have an emotional connection to or with is much, much easier, and they will do that much, much more likely than if they don't know you. And this is really, really crucial when it comes to building a relationship with your email list, because you always need to look at email marketing of a perspective of I'm going to use my emails not just to sell my products to everyone, but to build a connection, to build a relationship with my audience, right? You can build a connection and you can build a relationship with your audience through YouTube and Instagram and all those social media platforms, but you can also do that through email. The next email is a really, really popular email in the copywriting niche, and it's basically the value email. Basically what the value email does is it gives already the thing it says in their name is it gives the audience or the reader lots of value on their journey. So let's take for an example, if you are selling an SMMA course, I like to take that example, and you want to show people how to build a social media marketing agency. In a value email, you can give people some tips on maybe hiring a contractor or like doing outreach, right? You can give people a secret outreach strategy that you have used to close clients, and so people can try that, and they can just take it and literally walk away with it, implement it into their business. That's what you want to do with a value email. So the next email is a testimonial email, and especially when you're trying to sell your products, that's a email that can really make your sales shine, because a testimonial email basically is an email where you show your audience that, some of your, people that learned from you went from point A to point B, so basically reached a certain goal or like a dream state of your audience that your audience also has. And then you basically tell them what exactly he did and how he did it. And in that email, people will resonate with him. And then if you have a call to action at the end, or if you pitch your product there, people will most likely or more likely buy it because they already have kind of a case study. They already have an example that it's been done to reach their goal. And so, they know that they can also trust you because you have helped that person to reach that goal. And this just, works super, super well for sales emails. So that's why I like to use testimonial emails a lot. If I write a sales email or something like that. A really underrated email, and I feel like lots of people are not talking about it, but it's a reminder email. And what a reminder email can do is literally magic, right? Because let's say you send out something, right? You send out a value email or something where you pitch people your product and you send them to your sales page. What a reminder email can do is it can give you a second shot with the lead and being like, hey, just wanted to remind you of the thing that I sent you yesterday. It's really valuable. I don't want you to miss it. And then boom, you had a sales email before that, but the reminder email is kind of your second sales email, even though that's only a reminder email. So you don't come off as too salesy, but rather, as someone who's like, who wants to kind of help a friend out and remind him of the stuff that you're giving him. And so that's why you should never sleep on a reminder email, especially in email sequences, right? I mean, this is not something that you can send out for campaigns, but especially for email sequences, this is where reminder emails really shine. All right, next up we have a promo email. And a promo email basically is the type of email that you have most certainly already gotten lots of times and that you associate with email marketing or have associated, with email marketing back when you weren't as, as much of an expert in email marketing. But basically, the promo email, very classic, is you have a product, you have an offer, and you just promote it, and you go hard sell on that email is a promo email. So basically, you only talk about the product and you only talk about the benefits and the features it has, and you still kind of play with some urgency inside of it, some of the other copywriting principles that are really important, like having a attention grabbing hook, having a what's in it for me, having all that type of stuff, playing around with benefits and dream state, and then also a little bit with pain, right? But in general, there isn't much valuable content inside of it. It's more of a email that goes straight to the sale and sells the product. So the list is getting quite full here. I'll probably stop at newsletter, so I will not give you like a list of 50 different emails and then you're just confused and overwhelmed, but I'll just give you the most, in my opinion, the most important ones, and really the ones that I send out the most for clients and also for my own products. Just the emails that can, like, these emails can already get you really, really far if you use them efficiently. And so I'm not going to talk too much, about all other emails that are, that there are out there. But I want to wrap it up with newsletter email. And newsletter email, I kind of put it into a broad perspective because there are emails where you want to send people to your community. Maybe you just open the community. There are people's where you want to tell people that you just uploaded a new YouTube video, right? Or maybe you want to send people to your Instagram account or something like that, right? You want to basically tell people that there is something new that you just produced, right? Maybe even a free training or something can also be a newsletter email. Free training is more of a promo / newsletter email, right? So they also go in with each other, but a newsletter email basically is, reminding people or telling people that there is something new, right? You have a new YouTube video, you have a new podcast, some shit like that, right? And basically then you tell people in a newsletter email, you have a call to action at the end, make it really quick and to the point, and just emphasize, sell the click. So, tell people, oh, you're gonna have this in the email, or you're gonna have this in the new, community, or in the new YouTube video and stuff like that. And that's really it. Now, as we talk about all these types of emails, it's also important to touch on how you structure these emails. And especially important is that you can have, for all of these emails, you can have a call to action at the end. And for some of these emails, you can also just send them out without a call to action. And so I just went over the basic principles of email marketing, how it works and everything. And I said that you want to sell your products to email marketing, and that's true. However, an important and golden rule in email marketing is you don't want to sell your product in every single email, because then people won't really want to open your email because they already know that you just want to sell them something. But if you can have a great mix of providing value and offering, your offers, not being too salesy and pushy, then people will enjoy opening your emails and reading them, because they know they can get something valuable out of it. And so basically, when it comes to call to actions, right, there are three types of emails that you can really send out. You can send out an email with no call to action at all. You can send out an email with a soft call to action or a soft CTA. You can send out an email with a hard CTA. So first, I'm going to show you which of these emails you can send out with a soft CTA, with a hard CTA, and with no CTA. And after that, I'm going to tell you exactly what these CTAs are. So basically, the emails that are kind of giving you value and showing you something, and kind of already give you value without clicking something or buying something, these emails you can always have with no CTA. So as you can see, the storytelling email and the value email can be something that you can always send out to people without a CTA, because they might give people inspiration or motivation or just some valuable tips or stuff that they can just use in their journey, right? So you can send out with no CTA, with a soft CTA, or with a hard CTA. Basically, it's up to you. And how I would decide whether I want to have no CTA, a hard or a soft CTA, is by looking at the email sequence and by looking at the customer, or like the lead, and by looking at how far into their journey the lead is. So if we talk about email sequences here, then sending out a storytelling CTA, a storytelling email at first, is a really good idea. And you might not need a CTA just yet, because these people, this is maybe their second or third email that they get from you. You don't want to sell, to a audience that is not that warmed up yet. They don't know you that much, so they will build that connection with you. So it would be better to have a storytelling email with no CTA. And then you can also send out a bunch of value emails with no CTAs and stuff like that. But basically, once they are far in their journey, and also if you're sending out to the whole list, so these people are, there are people who just joined your list, but people who are already in your list for months, then you can always send out an email with a soft CTA or a hard CTA, even if that's a value or a storytelling email. When it comes to testimonial emails, I would always have a soft CTA or a hard CTA. You can send out testimonial emails with no CTA, but I would never waste a testimonial email, because you might only have a handful of really, really, really good testimonials that you want to market for your clients or for your products. And so I would never waste a testimonial email, to send it out without a CTA, because a testimonial email gives you so much more leverage, as I already mentioned, on making sales, because it's so much more persuasive to have that social proof and show how other people have reach the same goals that basically your audience is trying to reach. And so I would always have at least a soft CTA. But in my opinion, I feel like if you have a testimonial email, you can go on a hard CTA, go for the close and go for the sale. This is something that you want to place in the right spot, so that people are already warmed up, they got some free value, and then it sends them over the edge, and you get the close to the testimonial email. The reminder email, the promo email, and the newsletter, they need to have a hard CTA, because you literally tell them about something. And if you don't have a CTA in there, it's kind of weird. So if you talk about a product that you're selling and you don't have a CTA, right, people don't know what to click, people don't know where to go, they'll be confused. Same goes for the newsletter and the reminder email. Obviously, you tell them, hey, just send you out this one yesterday. You increase the friction if you don't have a CTA. If you'll be like, yo, check your inbox, go back to that email. And so we want to decrease friction as much as possible as copywriters and marketers. So the reminder email always should have a hard CTA. So now let's talk about different types of CTAs. Basically, you have the hard CTA, and this is a direct link or button in your email that takes people to a landing page or a sales page, basically. So really quick here, just to brush off our mind, the landing page is a page where people get, which takes them to take action on something, but it's mostly the page where people sign up to your email list, where they opt in, where they just give you their name and their email address in exchange for your lead magnet. And the sales page is a page where you sell your product. So it might be much longer than the landing page, and there might be lots of different sections with lots of different buttons and CTAs. basically aiming towards selling that one product that you want to sell. So if that's an SMMA course, right, you use a sales page to promote that or to sell that SMMA course to someone. And if you have a free training as a lead magnet for your SMMA coaching, you might use a landing page that is just smaller, and it doesn't have a checkout page where people have to pull out their credit card and pay. It's just a landing page. So basically, it's either a direct link or a button. This is important because depending on what niche you're in and all that stuff and how you choose to do that, you can have a link. So it's like a blue link that people can just click and it takes them to the landing page, or you can just have a button that says, buy now, or, get my product, or like whatever you want to put on your CTA. I'm not going to discuss how to write CTA here. This is email marketing tutorial and not copywriting. But basically, you would either have a direct link or a button. You see most like SaaS companies or e-commerce companies, they use buttons simply because their emails rely much more on designs and visual appeal, right? If you have like a e-commerce brand that is selling like clothes or something or different products, people want to see the products. They don't want to read a long ass email because they're not in here for information. They're in here to buy something that they can see. They can judge on whether it's good or not if they see it. And then there are other, forms of how they can judge it. How many good reviews does it have? Is this a good, reliable brand, and stuff like that. But basically, it's much more design heavy. And so for e-commerce brands, most of the time you will have a button and not a link. But then if you have a copywriting heavy email, right, and that is for a niche like service-based business, online coaching business, info product business, you name it, then you probably will have a link because that's much more convenient. It would be weird to have a block of text and then at the end you will have a button. It's much more convenient and just looks better that you have a link at the end. Next up, we have a soft CTA. And the soft CTA basically is like a CTA or like a sentence that asks people to reply to your email, or it's a link in the postscript section. So in some emails, you will have the whole email, and then it's like you'll have the signature, and at the end, right after the signature, you might have a postscript. So that's like a PS. It's like, PS, make sure to buy my products, make sure to do XYZ, right? That is basically having something in the PS line. And you can either have a link in the PS line, or what you can also do is you can just tell people, hey, by the way, if you're interested to build your own social media marketing agency from $0 to 10K per month, and you need someone to help you, reply to this email with SMMA and I will get back to you. That's like a soft CTA. It tells people to, take action to reply to your email. It's much more vague as well. Like you can be more specific. You can be like, hey, I will work one-on-one with you. It's my one-on-one coaching program. But most of the time, you won't go hard on it. You will just subtly mention it in the email and then have people reply to you. And then from there, you can have a conversation and sell your product from there. Now, most of the time, soft CTAs have a lower conversion rate. So the likelihood of people replying to your email is much lower because it takes much more effort and time than people just clicking a link or a button. So that is always something you need to keep in mind. But in general, soft CTAs are really good for emails where you want to provide value and everything, and you still want to have the chance of people getting back to you and you kind of qualifying people for your product, but you don't want to come off as too salesy with like a link or a button in your email. So that's where soft CTAs are really good. And last but not least, we have no CTA. And it sounds really simple. It sounds like you already know, but let me explain. Basically, no CTA is having no button, link, or postscript, reply to my email or whatever. But whenever I write an email with no CTA, I don't just want to stop the email in a really abrupt way and be like, here's my 3 tips on how to grow on social media: upload reels, collaborate with other people, fucking post on your other social media channels. See you at the top. That's not how it works. You want to still have something at the end, kind of to round up the email. And what I like to do there is I want to have a CTA, but I want to make it relatable to the email, or I want to make it relevant to the email. So if I send out a value email and I have no CTA at the end, right? I don't have a product or service or anything to pitch, then I remind myself, or I remind the reader at the end of the email, when I'm done with all the value that I want to give them, when I'm done with the tips and everything, I remind the reader of what I just went through and what they just went through, and then I remind them to do the things that I just told them to do, right? So if I give them outreach tips in an email and I tell people, hey, instead of doing cold IG DMs, do Upwork, then I tell people why they should do Upwork, how it works, what they need to do. And then at the end of the email, I will be like, so if you want to get copywriting clients, try to send out 2 to 3 proposals per day and do that for the next 30 days, and you will see how it works for you. See you at the top, right? There's still a kind of a call to action, because I tell people what to do, but it's not a direct call to action linked to a product. It's more a call to action linked to, an action that they need to take in order to, help them with something. So it's like, do this, right? Do the things that I tell you, just do it. That's it. And then it's like, see you at the top, blah, blah, blah. That's basically how I would write an email with no CTA. So next up, we have how to set up and write emails for automations and campaigns, right? Because there's a difference in between writing emails for your campaigns and for your automations, right? So first of all, for your automation, you want to tailor the emails to your subscriber's journey, right? So these are just a couple tips that I will give you that you can always keep in mind for writing for automations. Basically, you want to tailor the emails to your subscriber's journey. What I mean by that is the beauty of automated emails is that you can set different emails into different places. So that's like if you know already, you have lots of information of your audience. You know what your subscriber does, and based on something that your subscriber does, you can always set up different emails that serve different purposes. So let's take, for example, someone signs up to your email list. You know now that you have a trigger that someone is really, really new to your email or to your email list, and you know that they're interested in your information, what you have to offer, etc. So what you want to do is you want to give lots of free value, and you want to build a connection and establish a relationship with them. And you do that through automated emails. And to make sure that you build a really, really good connection, you want to make sure that you hit the people with all types of different triggers so that they trust you, basically. So some people might start to build a connection with you once you send out that storytelling email that I just went over before, because they can resonate with your story, they can build a connection through that. Some people might build a relationship with you through the free value that you give them. So if you give them valuable tips and they use them and they like it, then they might be open to buying something from you and like just having an emotional connection towards you because you help them so much. And then there's other people who they don't care about all that. They care about what are other people achieving through the stuff that you teach. And if you can show them that your stuff works by showing some testimonials, right, sending out testimonial emails, showing some case studies, then that might be, for those people, that might be the point where it sends them over the edge and they trust you now, and then they will be open to buy from you. And the fact or the thing that I'm referring to is, as Ty says, he always said that different people are motivated by different brain chemicals and by different factors. So there's like oxytocin, for example, right? That's a brain chemical that your brain releases whenever you are with other people, right? So that's the social kind of brain chemical. So if you're hugging your girlfriend right now, or if you are out with the boys, right, and you're just doing fun stuff, that is oxytocin that is being released. And then there are people, there's also another brain chemical that is dopamine, and you all know dopamine. That's kind of the motivational thing. So dopamine, when that is being released, it makes you feel like motivated, makes you feel good, makes you want to go towards a goal. And so that is how other people, might be more convinced by you. And then there's some other parts like for example, cortisol. Cortisol is like the stress hormone. So whenever something gets stressful, that's when people are more likely to take action. So what Ty says is that these different brain chemicals are dominant in different people. So maybe someone, has the brain chemical oxytocin that is really dominant in regards to the other brain chemicals. Then they might be convinced through a testimonial email because they want to have that social proof. They want to have that feeling as, other people are buying the same programs as I do. It works for other people, so it will work for me, right? So he says that these people are more oxytocin driven. And then there are people who are more dopamine driven. So you might want to tell them a motivational story of yourself, and they want to feel that motivation. And by having that motivation and that novelty, right, that's why you want to have a unique mechanism as well. They have that novelty, that motivation, and it's kind of like exciting for them. That's where, people who are dopamine driven, they might convert on that email much better than like the testimonial email. Maybe they don't even care too much about the testimonial in the testimonial email. But like if you have a really solid free email with like, or like a storytelling email with like a CTA or something, you might convert them from there. And then, you know, the cortisol email, those are, or the cortisol people that are more driven by cortisol, these people might convert on an email that is more urgency driven. So it's like, hey, I will only run this offer for the next 10 hours. You need to buy now, right? Otherwise, you won't get it. And then people will buy it because it's like urgency driven, right? So, as I said, with these other emails that I gave you before, that is how you want to tailor your automations in a way where you hit all these different people who are driven by different kind of hormones. And you want to kind of tailor the whole automations. So there's multiple automations. It's not only the one sequence when people sign up to your list, right? Maybe someone wants to buy your product and then they go to the checkout page, but they don't pay for it, and then they abandoned the checkout. So that's what you call an abandoned cart sequence. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. It's basically a different sequence where you tailor the emails differently because you know that he's already interested in your product. You have some more information on that guy, and you can tailor the automated emails much better to him. You can be like, hey, I just saw you were interested in this and that. Maybe you just maybe you just got distracted or something, right? Because that is logical, right? Maybe they just got distracted. And then you give them the first chance to get back to the basically to the product. And then maybe it's something else, right? Maybe they have some objections in their hand. Maybe it's the price. Maybe it's the they're not sure if that's a good fit for them. And you want to basically an abandoned cart sequence is basically a sequence of emails where you handle these objections. And then you send out an email that gives them a what's in it for me. You send them an email that has an FAQ section inside, because then they can see frequently asked questions, and maybe that's a question they have on their mind, and through that you can kill the objection and get the sale. But yeah, that's basically about writing for automations. And then let's talk about campaign emails. All right, so with campaign emails, it's important to understand that you send it to the whole list, right? So it's not an email that just one person gets on their journey, but it's like an email that is being sent out to people who already subscribed to you like months ago. So they already know you for months because they've been nurtured through all these automations, and maybe they follow you on different mediums, and they received your other campaign emails. So they already kind of know, like, and trust you, right? But then there are people who have only signed up like a couple days ago. They don't know you so much. So that is something that you always need to keep in mind. But due to the fact that that these like many of these people already know you, because like you should always take a look at what is the middle of it, right? There are people who know me since day one. There are people who just got to know me like yesterday. So you want to find the middle of how you want to tailor your brand voice. It lets you be like go heavier on brand voice, because that's your emails that you send out every week. And once someone is a subscriber for a few weeks, he knows kind of how these emails will be, what to expect. And so that's also why it's important to not only send out sales emails, because in your campaign emails, you still want to make sure that you provide value, but this time you're just providing it to the whole list. And so you want to make sure that people want to open your email, because you want to have them perceive your emails as something valuable that they need to read, so that they can get tips, so that they can get further in their journey. And so if you only send out sales emails, some of them will be like, oh, he only wants to pitch me his product. And so what you want to do instead is have like a ratio of, what I like to do is having 2 value emails, or like 2 emails with no CTA, and then 1 email with either a soft or a hard CTA per week. So if you send out 3 emails, you will have 2 emails with no CTA, 1 with a hard or a soft CTA. If you send out 5 emails, you might want to have like 3 or 4 with no CTA, and 1 to 2 emails with a CTA. So then you have a good ratio of just giving lots of free value up front, but then also selling to your whole list. Because if you send out an email to 2,000 people, that's really something where you can get some of the sales or some good sales from there. But if you have a CTA, All right, so now let's talk about the big 3 email sequences. There are lots of different email sequences that you can put into place to tailor your emails or your content towards your customers and towards their journey. But there are 3 emails that I find the most important ones. These are really, really basic email sequences that you can always set up for your own products or for your clients. And if you cover these three, you're already kind of on the good side, right? There's many different email sequences that you can still have in place that are really, really helpful and that are more advanced for sure. But these three are already kind of, if you have them, you're already good to go. You're already like so much better than all the rest and all the other people who don't have any sequences in place or only have one of them or something like that. So the first email sequence is the welcome sequence, and that is obviously one of the most important ones, because once people sign up to your lead magnet, you want to make sure that they are being kind of welcomed in a good way. And so you want to give them the lead magnet, obviously, so you will send them an email, but then you can follow up with them, sending them multiple other emails and making sure that these people are building that connection with you, right? I went over that earlier, right? You can send out storytelling emails, value emails, all these other emails, maybe newsletter emails, right? Maybe you can send out a community email in a welcome sequence. I have that for my welcome sequence because I like that. It gives people the vibe of, hey, you're welcome here. You can join my community. You can get in touch with me much better through that. Kind of lets them feel like they're a little bit more exclusive, that they're like in my kind of bubble and in my community. And so there's lots of ways on how you can write a really effective welcome sequence. We will go over that later though, when I jump into my CRM and show you the automations inside of the CRM. But yeah, just know that a welcome sequence is really, really important. And you always need a really good welcome sequence to kind of start off the relationship with a new lead in a really good way. And email sequence number 2 is the abandoned cart sequence. Again, highly important sequence. You will always need an abandoned cart sequence for every single product that you sell, right? That's just a rule of thumb. You should always do that. It's like a golden rule, right? Write that down somewhere, you don't forget it. Really important, because what it does is basically, if someone is interested in your product, and I already went over that before, but I'll just remind you, someone is interested in your product and they go to the checkout page, but they don't buy it yet. There might be some confusion, or there might be some objections that the person has, right? Maybe the price is too much for them. Maybe they don't know if it's valuable enough for them. Maybe they have some other questions, or they're not sure. That's where, if you don't have an abandoned cart sequence, you will lose that lead. But if you have an abandoned cart sequence, lots of times you can still capture the lead and still make the sale. And since it's just an automated sequence, everyone who goes to the checkout page and doesn't buy will be contacted or will be getting these emails, and you will have kind of a much better chance of getting more people to buy your product, especially those who you already know are interested, right? So it only makes sense to send them a couple more emails to make sure that they have everything they know, right, before buying the product, so they can make a really good informed decision. And basically what you want to do, again, handle objections, handle common objections. So you can send out, kind of your FAQ section just as an email and be like, hey, look at this. These are questions other people had. Maybe you have some of these objections. Make sure you read through them. And then you can always pitch them back, or kind of send them back to the checkout page, right? I know that lots of, most e-commerce stores mostly do something like having a discount code as their abandoned cart sequence, simply because in e-commerce it's a little bit different, right? It's like the product, where most of the time it's just price. If you just lower the price, they don't care, they will just buy it. So if you give them like 10-20% discount code on their abandoned cart sequence, you will get lots more sales from there. But you can also do that for info products. I don't like it as much for info products. I would much rather give them all the information that they need, or for info product or a service or whatever, so that they can make an informed decision and be like, okay, this is really something that I need. Because most of the time it's like, is this even right for me? Is this going to help me in my journey right now? Right? Because they're buying information and not just like clothes or something. Oh, and I forget to mention that, in when I worked for Ty Lopez, and we were selling his products, we were having a really long abandoned cart sequence. It will be like 15 emails and like 7 to 10 SMS. And the abandoned cart sequences, right? Most of the time I was responsible for writing them. They would bring in an extra 20 to 30% of sales. So just imagine that if your product is making 100K a month, right? Your info product, your like course or your coaching or whatever, not having an abandoned cart sequence can make you miss out on another 20 to 30K per month, right? Just imagine that. And so that is just how powerful an abandoned cart sequence can be if you use it in the right way. Third, and last but not least, is the upsell sequence. And that's basically when someone buys your product, right? Either you already have an upsell funnel. So that's like you kind of want to, they bought your product and then you want to get them to buy a different product that is most of the time more expensive. If they went through the funnel, or if you don't have a funnel, doesn't matter, and they didn't buy it, then you can still hit them with a sequence of emails where it's like, hey, look at this, I have this offer for you to upgrade your experience. You already bought XYZ. This is even better. It goes even more in depth. And then just give them reasons why they should buy the product, because most of the time, they already trust you. You don't need to build lots of authority, social proof, and all that stuff. Most of the time, what you need to do with upsell sequences and upsell copy in general is having a really, really, really good what's in it for me. Because these people already bought from you, so they already trust you. They will buy again from you, right? Of course. And if you can just have something, if you can have a product, right, that you want to sell them after they just bought from you, they need to know exactly what they're getting and how it's going to help them, so that they can be 100% sure that, oh, fuck, okay, I might really need this on top of that, and now let me buy that, right? And so that's what you want to do with an upsell sequence, or with an upsell page also, right? There's lots of what's in it for me. Maybe you can have an FAQ, because that handles objection as well. It clears out confusion if you give them a good what's in it for me in your copy. Handling objections is always important. And that's it for the whiteboard from here. I'm going to jump into my laptop. I'm going to jump into my CRM, and I'll show you how everything looks inside a real email marketing platform. And then, we'll go from there. See you there. So this is exactly how it looks inside of my CRM. I'm using Content Creator Machine, which is basically a Go High Level white labeled. The reason why I'm using this is because it's super cheap. It's much cheaper than Go High Level, and you get the same features, the same benefits as using Go High Level. Basically, Go High Level is right now is the best on the market, but yeah, that's why I want to use Content Creator Machine, because it's like, I think 90 days free trial, and then after that I pay like $47 per month for it, so super cheap, and you still get all the features from Go High Level, as I said. But yeah, essentially what I like to do is I wanted to share basically how it looks inside of a real CRM. So that is managing sales funnels, basically like the landing pages and sales pages of you or your clients. But since this is a email marketing tutorial, I will go over basically the email marketing side of things. So the email sequences and the marketing or / broadcast or campaign emails. Now, first things first, I'm not a big fan of like tutorials of how to use software, because literally there are thousands of tutorials on YouTube on how to use Go High Level, how to use MailChimp, how to use all these different email marketing softwares. But I still wanted to go over my own system, because then, I can show you how I do things, and I would still like to show you guys how things look inside of a CRM, because many of you guys have been requesting me to actually show how to set up these things in the CRM, what to do, how to do that. I feel like lots of you guys are a little bit overwhelmed with that, and that's totally normal, right? If, in the beginning, I wasn't really experienced with those softwares as well, but it just takes some figuring out. So my first tip is simply you can create a free account at some of these providers like MailChimp, GetResponse, ConvertKit, Go High Level, whatever you might find. And then you can just play around and create some automated sequences, set up a landing page and stuff like that. And just so you can get a gist of the software itself. For me personally, I don't even watch YouTube tutorials to figure out how to use a software anymore. I just literally use it for like 30 minutes or like an hour or two and play around with the features. And whenever I need help on something specific, that's when I Google something or watch a YouTube tutorial or something like that. So that's basically what I would recommend you guys if you want to be more experienced within using software and CRMs. Simply just create a free account, and without even watching a tutorial, just see what are the features, what can you do, and if you really have zero clue on how these things work, then watch a YouTube tutorial, play around with your free account, set up a few things, and if you start working with clients, you can tell people that, hey, I'm experienced with MailChimp, I'm experienced with Go High Level, ConvertKit. Like, I've been working with all these platforms. I know how to set up automations, how to segment lists, and all that stuff, right? So that will always help you. But now let's actually focus on the email marketing side of things. So as we already went over on the whiteboard, There are two different ways for your email marketing. First way is the automations or the email sequences, right? Automated autoresponder emails. And then the second way is your campaign emails / newsletter, broadcast emails, however you want to call them, that you send to the whole list, right? We already talked about differences. We already talked about some of the sequences. And so first of all, let me show you how you can send out email campaigns and how you can set them up, right? For Go High Level, click on marketing and then you go to email campaigns. As I said, each software is different, right? Each software, the user interface looks different. You will have to go to different ways to find the way where you can, set up the emails and send them out. So that's something that, something technical that you need to figure out for each software. But in general, there needs to be like a section where you can send out campaign emails and a section where you can set up automations. Basically what you want to do, right? This is, as I said, in Go High Level. And again, if you have the choice to choose for your clients what you want them to use so that you can use that CRM for them, always go with Go High Level because that is the best on the market right now. Everyone is white labeling it right now because it's so good. It's dominating the scene. So it's really easy to use, has all the necessary tools. And yeah, that's why it's just the best. So I would always recommend you go with Go High Level. And basically then once you're here, you can start sending out emails. You can also see the emails that we already send out. So recently we just, today it's like 7th of March. This was like an hour ago. We actually sent out a campaign email. And if I refresh, I'll see that, it's been sent out already. Probably it takes a little bit of time, but basically it should show that the email is being sent out to the list. And then I can also take a look at some stats. Now 1 hour after sending out an email, you will not have really good stats because, obviously people need to open it first, read it first, click and all that stuff. But basically if I click here and I go to statistics, I can take a look at the statistics, right? I can see how many people have been sent out to, how many people have been skipped or whatever. And then I can just take a look at all these statistics. And so far, right, for 1 hour, this is not bad. We have a 23% open rate, right? And I can also see how many people have opened the email and all that good stuff. And I can even click on preview and, can show you what email we send out. So it was a email about, it's kind of a mindset campaign email where it's just value, right? There's no call to action here. So that is what I went over before that, right? Remember when I told you guys to always have some form of value emails and mix them up with emails that don't have a CTA, but then, throw in a CTA every couple emails so that you still sell your products, but you don't come off as too salesy. And we do that exactly as well. We like to give people on our email list lots of free value. So that's why we give people tips, motivation, stories, stuff like that. And then sometimes we also include call to actions. So, this was the email before that. If I take a look, right, because now we're talking about campaign emails, this was another value email where I give people 3 tips on Upwork, but I also put in a testimonial simply to give the tips more weight. So, if I tell people, hey, look, this guy did this and that with this strategy, so I'm gonna give you the 3 tips that you can use to have the same effect as him. And, it was about Hussein who got a $1.5 thousand deal last week and through Upwork. And basically that is the testimonial that I'm leveraging. If you can leverage testimonials, always do that. You don't have to turn it into a whole testimonial email. As you can see, this is just a value email, but I just included the testimonial there, but I'm not even selling stuff in there, right? So it's still not really as salesy. It's just about, hey guys, look, this guy got this result and these are the tips he used. Make sure you use them too. And then the email before that, I'm pretty sure we have a call to action. Yeah, there you go. We send out an email with tips, basically a tip where it's like you need your copy to be congruent, giving them an example, telling them how they can make their copy congruent. And then at the end in the PS line, this is more of a kind of soft CTA, if you will. I pitched, or I basically send people to a YouTube video. This is my sales funnel course that I have. People really liked it, reach out to me, they liked it. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to send more traffic towards it because it helps people a lot. And it's like this raw long form kind of training that you're watching right now, just on sales funnels. So, if you're watching the email marketing tutorial or the email marketing course right now, and you would like to watch a 1 hour sales funnel course from me in a similar style than this one, then make sure you watch it, because I will be linking it somewhere here. And yeah, you can just watch the sales funnel course after this one. It will help you a lot as well. But yeah, basically that's how we send out our campaign emails. 3 emails per week. We send out Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. And then we like to have 2 value emails with no CTA. And on Saturdays, usually we will have a long form copy with value or testimonials or whatever. And then we will also have a CTA in there. And it's not always pitching people to our product or something like that. Sometimes it's just sending people more free value, sending them to my swipe file or sending them to a YouTube video or something else. And then basically that's it, right? So that we still have some engagements, people click somewhere, and they're not being sold to in every CTA email, right? So it's not even that often that we sell. That is it about the strategy with campaign emails. Now, if you want to set it up, it's very, very simple. I'll just walk you through it really, really briefly, because I feel like it's still a little bit, kind of important. So if I take just a blank email here, and I go design editor, because we don't want to code any stuff. We're copywriters, we're not coders, right? I'll basically have this right here, and then I can name it, right? I can be like email 1. And from here, I can customize the text of the email. I can also have, this is for go high level, right? Again, if you're using something else, it looks different. It has other features, but lots of times you will have elements that you can just pull in here. And, I can put like an image here, start it with an image, and then I can have a text here, or I can even have like a button or something else, like logo, video, all types of stuff, right? But we almost never use that, right? If we send out emails, we just use a text. Before that, you saw the case study where I had an image. So sometimes we're adding images and stuff. But as I said, no buttons really for info product copy. And that's why we're only having like a text field. And then, you can put it in the way you want it, right? Arial, whatever. And you can be like, yo, name, right? If you have an email list and you have people's names, you collected them when they opted in. You want to have a custom value, right? And that is basically a placeholder for the name. So if you say it, this one here says, yo, contact name. If you're like most copywriters, right? Then you might think, I don't know, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And then, if we write this whole email down, at the end, we will have a CTA. So this is like the call to action right here. And then we have our signature, right? So for me, that's obviously see you at the top. And then Kevin, But basically what we want to do, that's another important thing. You can also have links in here. So if that's a call to action and you want to link to somewhere, you will just copy paste the link into the link URL, save it, and I need to put a valid URL here. So I might just put like my Instagram account or something, or just Instagram, some stuff like that. So, damn it, it didn't even save. So yeah, basically, what you want to do is you just want to copy the URL and then plug it in here, and that way you will have this nice link that is clickable. I also want to make it blue so people understand that this is a link. Typically links are blue, and then people can click here and they will get to your, if that's an offer that you have, your product, your sales page, whatever, that's how you want to do it. You can also, just very basic, you can bold stuff, you can put things in italic, you can underline some things, right? Even strike through, right? So you can just be like strike through. Lots of stuff that you can play around with that I like to use as well. I like to bold some things that are more important in my copy, and I always like to put quotes in italic or something like that, right? So yeah, that's something that you can play around with, and is any software, any CRM has these features, and so that is really good. And then obviously you can save it. You can in Go High Level, you can send out a test email. So I could put the from email, the send to, like I could put the from email where I send it from, then I can put an email where it should send a test to. And before sending out email campaigns, you always want to send a test email. So that is really, really important. You just send the test email here, put the subject line, and then send it out and see if it lands in the inbox, see if the links are working, see if everything is nice. And then from there you can send it out. Things that you need to cover always is what email is going to be sent out from. Make sure you use a good email with a good domain is also important, because otherwise you will have deliverability issues. You need a domain that is warmed up and stuff like that. And then you'll have a sender name, so you can always change the sender name. Sometimes you can even put something funny or a little bit more intriguing, like you can put Joe Biden in here or some shit like that, but I just always put Kevin or something. And then you have the subject line, even the preview text optional. And then I can, for example, choose all of my contacts to send the list or to send to that list, or I can choose by tags. So I can tag a few different contacts. If they, bought my course, then I can send an email out to the list without people who bought the course already, because if they already bought the course, I don't want to send them to the course again because they already bought it. So it doesn't make sense, right? So you want to exclude those people. You can do that by tagging them, and then you just want to send it out. I will obviously not send out this email here right now. It's just a demonstration. But yeah, I think you should get a really good idea now of how it works. And from here, let's take a look at email automations. So this right here is email automations. So if you click on it, you will see all of your automations. These are all the automations that we set up. All of them are mostly published. The smaller automations ones are the ones where people get access to our products, to our courses and stuff like that. And then, this is for Black Friday as well. When I had an offer, I had a separated automation for the abandoned cart sequence. But basically, you can see there are people who are actively enrolling, which means the sequence is working. And I'm not afraid to show you the numbers. So we have the swipe file, right? My copywriting swipe file where you can opt in. I have an opt-in email sequence for that. I have a few people who went through it already. And then the abandoned cart sequence for my Upwork course. And then also for my free training, the opt-in sequence here. And basically that's what I already mentioned before in the tutorial or in the free course, where I was talking about you always want to have a welcome sequence, an abandoned cart sequence, and an upsell sequence. Now, we only have one product, so we don't have an upsell sequence. If we have more products, we would have upsell sequences for those products. But what we do have is an abandoned cart sequence. And for both of our lead magnets, we have an opt-in sequence. And I can show you, I can just go to the opt-in sequence, show you how that looks. Basically, the same principles apply for the emails, right? So I'm going to send people really, really nice a reminder to get back to the free training and stuff like that. So these are emails that you want to kind of strategize when you send out which. So the first email needs to be a reminder. It's like, hey, just saw you watch my free training. If you haven't watched it or something like that, just here you can get back to it. And then kind of, because on the sales page of the free training, there is my product, and the actual thing that I offer is the course. And then I make people aware of that and be like, hey, I don't know if you saw my free training, but actually on the same page, you can get the Upwork Domination Starter Kit, blah, blah, blah. Here, feel free to check it out, basically to get people to buy it. And then after that, I give people more free value. I give them access to my swipe file because that's my second lead magnet, and I kind of cross-channel those things. So on the swipe file, I also send people to the free training just so I can provide people with the most free value that I can have, because it doesn't hurt to just give them my swipe file as well if they already opted in with their emails. They're already on my email list, so kind of no-brainer to just give them that. And then at the end, I like to kind of make them aware of my community. So that is something that I go over in the sales funnel course that I dropped, the 1-hour sales funnel course. Basically, I talk about how you want to have this big ecosystem of having all of your audience on your email list and on your social media channels and on your community and stuff like that. And so that's why I also always send people to my community, and from my community, I send them to my email list. And from my email list, I also sent them to other social media platforms. As you saw before, I sent them to my YouTube videos or stuff like that. And from my YouTube, I also send them to my email list. And it's basically this kind of circle, this like ecosystem where people are inside of all of my, kind of channels of communication. Because if you have, the more touch points you have with your leads, the better. And so email is a great way to have touch points with them, but it's also a great way to expand on people who might not already follow you on social media, but you send them an email and then they will, and that way you can get more people on your social media and vice versa. So that is really, really important. And if we look at the opt-in sequence for the swipe file, you can also see that I not only send people to my community, but on the swipe file, for example, if they opt in, there is a YouTube video email where I send people to one of my most favorite YouTube videos. And probably the best YouTube video where I can send people to, because if they're a beginner, they want to make money with copywriting, that is basically what the video is about. It's about how to start copywriting, the 3 steps you need to take in 2024. And so I like to give people that as a video, and then they can check out my other videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel and whatever. So that is really powerful. But otherwise it's the same process. I give people access to the swipe file, right? Because they opted in for the swipe file. Then I send them another reminder. Then I send them YouTube video, another value email, and making them aware that I'm sending them a free training tomorrow. Then I'm going to send them a free training. Then I'm going to send them a reminder so that they go to the free training again. And then again, a community email, right? So that is the sequence. And in between those emails, I always just like to wait one day, exactly 24 hours. And then, every day you will have another touch point with your lead. That is really good. I wouldn't wait like 3 days or 4 days here in between the emails, because that's a lot of time and people might have already forgotten about you. So you always want to keep the communication channels up. And then, as is always is with an automation, with an email automation, you'll have triggers. So for me, that is, I have a form where people opt in. It's on my landing page. And if that form is submitted with their name and their email, then this name and email gets, the first email right here. And they get it right when it's triggered, so that people opt in, and then the email is already on the way with their swipe file, so they don't have to wait for it. And then these are 2 different triggers. So these are 2 different forms. One is for laptop and one is for phone. So if people are on computer, there is a different form that they will fill out than if they are on their phone. But I want to include both of these triggers. And you can also have other triggers here, but these are the triggers that make sense for that. I can also show you that, for example, with the abandoned cart sequence, you will have a different trigger. And basically that's like people who go to the checkout page, but they don't buy within like 20 or 30 minutes, right? Then that, they might be on the edge right now, they're not sure or whatever. That's where you can have like a delay of 20 minutes in here. So basically I can add a new trigger, right? And then I have this trigger here. It's order form submission. So that is when people go to the checkout page. And basically what it does is when people go to the checkout page, and I have a delay here, right? That if like after 20 minutes, I will also have a condition if they don't buy, right? So that means if they're not active in my course, which means they haven't bought it yet, then they will get a series of emails, right? That is like, yo, what happened, bro? I saw you wanted to buy it. Here's a tip from my course. Here's how my course looks. And I give people like a free 3-day trial, and then a breakup email where it's like, yo, this is your last chance. How did you like my trial? And if you liked it, you can still get in, stuff like that, right? So very basic abandoned cart sequence, stuff that I already teach you on the whiteboard, but this is like more of the technical side of things on how you set them up. And basically these are the things that you want to keep in mind. Having triggers, having delays and conditions for your abandoned cart sequences. Same goes for upsell and cross-sell sequences, and stuff like that. And then you can also take it one step further, where it's like, if they click here and they still don't buy, then you can have a different condition and have other emails for them. But I just put it in a really basic way. It worked out well this way, and that's why I'm always keeping it, right? Never change a running system. And so yeah, that's basically how you set up email automations. Very, very basic, right? It's like more of a tutorial type part of the video, but it's also very important. Yeah, I hope you took lots of value from here, from both of these sides of the free course. If you did, and now you're wondering how do really good emails look for my autoresponders, for the email sequences and for my email campaigns, obviously, right, the swipe file where I have the opt-in sequence for, you can just opt in. We'll have the link in the description. It's called the free $1 million copywriting swipe file. And you can just opt in with your email and your name. And then there you will have like over 40 copywriting pieces from me, tons of emails that I wrote for Ty Lopez and also other clients, tons of email sequences as well. So these are like real sequences that I use for clients and that I wrote for them and set up. And then also lots of campaign emails that brought in thousands of dollars for Ty and for other clients. And so yeah, if you want to see exactly how that copy looks so that you can get some inspiration, take a closer look. Again,
opt in for the $1 million copywriting swipe file, and you will also get the opt-in sequence for the swipe file delivered to your inbox in the next like week or so. And then yeah, you can go from there and get some inspiration and get signed up to my email list, where I also share more valuable lessons. As I said, 3 times per week we send out emails now. We're being more active. And then yeah, hope this was helpful for you, and I hope to see you in the future. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, if you're new, make sure to like and subscribe and to share it with another copywriting friend who might need some help with their email marketing. And I'll see you in the next one.